This morning the alarm woke me up, but I got some good sleep. I should feel fine today as soon as I get through the initial wake up here. Back on the road today and heading east, leaving Fargo, and going to hook up right away in the morning just outside of Fargo, about 40 miles, with an old dear friend from growing up in Fargo. And he's going to meet me on his bike and ride across northern Minnesota with me. So I'm going to get in the shower, get cleaned up, and I'm excited to just get rolling again, get back in the rhythm. It's been a nice break visiting my father in Fargo. But it is time to get back on the road. So, an interesting morning weather-wise. We definitely have rain that way, but the intention is to go that direction today. So hopefully we'll just kind of ride around this stuff. But it does look like I will have to wipe down the bike a little bit. So goodbye cushy hotel room that my dad got for me. Really grateful, Dad. Just remembered I have a bunch of water in the refrigerator I have to pull out. But I got the Bell cart. I just put everything that's on the bike on the cart and wheel it on down to the bike. One fell swoop. Easy peasy. Fargo lies within the Red River Valley, which this farmland has some of the richest, blackest soil you will find. It's black like potting soil, but because of its northern latitude, it has only one growing season each year. These are some of the most dangerous roadways you can travel on a motorcycle. They're divided highways, they're high speed, but they do not have controlled access. there is traffic crossing your path on these roads, and you really have to be alert.
God, look at that piece of shit.
Kind of looks like you're out for a ride.
Did you get me a push-up?
What's on?
Not much, man. How are you?
Good to see ya.
Watch my camera. I don't want to pop you in the face.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry I'm late.
I just
Murder,
got
She
here.
Wrote was on. I just couldn't pull myself away.
I was gonna get here way earlier, but I stripped my bed this morning. I'm like, I got up early, stripped it, I'm gonna wash it, go down to the mudroom, and in there it just smells like a fucking outhouse in the middle of summer. It just smells like shit. 'Cause there's a toilet in there and a laundry sink, right?
Yeah.
And I go over, and on the toilet it says, "Water shut off, doesn't work, don't use it." No. Well, the bowl had dried up with water.
Yeah.
So is all that nasty sewer gas coming.
Nice.
So I'm like, oh my god. So I go back into the kitchen, find a bucket, fill it up with water.
Fill
go
the
in there.
trap. So, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fill it. Well, when I was screwing with the kitchen sink, the water was barely coming out. I'm like, what the hell? Like, I look under the sink, and yeah, it's pinched because the weight isn't perfectly at the bottom. It's up this way. I'm like, I'll find a screwdriver and do that real quick. So I'm doing that. As I'm doing that, I wiggle a water line and it just starts shooting water out.
Oh, fun.
I look, like, what the hell?
What are you wiggling it for?
Literally doing
Stop
plumbing
fiddling with
at
things.
6:30 this morning.
What the hell? No, skip.
Doesn't let you. And you can just paddle shift in
Where is it?
manual.
Where's your clutch lever?
No shift gear.
What the hell? Yeah. Noisy thing. All right, man.
All right, I'll follow.
There we go. Something's not right. Like, what the hell?
That would have sucked.
So I'm riding with my buddy Brad, who is clearly not riding with me, and really happy that he's come to join me. I haven't seen him in a long time. We went to high school together, and he's asked that I not use his real name, so out of respect I won't call him Brad. I'm going to refer to him as Angela Lansbury. So Angela Lansbury went to high school with me. We got in lots of trouble together, and I've written about her in my book about the time in my life when I had no motorcycle for like 20 years. But Angela always had a Goldwing, and he was always so kind as to loan me the bike for a weekend or something, and I would go riding and keep my riding chops up some, get to experience motorcycling without having ownership. I had a family, I was going to college, I didn't have a lot of money, And he helped me keep my motorcycling dream alive, and I'll always be grateful to him for that. So yeah, Angela's a good person. And he also took a shop class from Mr. Kortan, and we were just sitting around the gas pump there for a while telling old stories of being in Mr. Kortan's class. You guys have watched that interview already and seen the story he told, that Mr. Kortan told, about the bolt cutters being tossed out the window during class so that they could be picked up later and used to steal bikes. Angela here, he reminded me of when the same thing happened, but it was spray paint from the paint room was being tossed out the window, and of course they'd come back later and get that spray paint, and they'd either spray graffiti somewhere in town with it, or they were probably sniffing it. You know, it was crazy times. Some crazy kids in class. And then he also relayed a story of when he and another buddy of mine who was in my band for many years, very close friend, they had this Halloween costume hair paint that they had used. It was silver, to make themselves look like old men for a costume, and they brought it into the class, went into the paint room, sprayed that silver paint all over their hair, and then grabbed the regular silver spray paint and walked out of the paint room and told Mr. Kortan that they had been getting into a spray paint fight, and Mr. Kortan had to figure that out, and they scared him, of course. So that was the kind of stuff that Mr. Kortan had to put up with while he was being inspiring to us. It was good times. Okay, so Angela and I have stopped at this place. Is now called Izzo's. We found some convenient parking. And this place, we used to come here, it was about 2 summers in a row where we were hired as the house band Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday nights. And the bands would play in the bar downstairs, and the restaurant was upstairs. And so when we would drive, our band had a big bus. We would drive it down that hill there, back it in, and unload all of our equipment down below. While that was happening, usually there were people eating upstairs, and this deck wasn't here. And so the bus came right up to the building, really, and we had painted the bus with a kind of a graffiti spray paint style. It was a complete mess, but in his ultimate wisdom, one of my bandmates or friend decided that on the top of the bus, where you couldn't really see it, they would spray paint. This gentleman was a bit of an artist. Spray painted a big squirting phallus on the roof of the bus, and we had forgotten it was up there. So we backed the bus up to unload the equipment for the show that night, and meanwhile, up above in the windows there was a nice older couple trying to enjoy an evening out on the town and a nice dinner together. And of course, this gentleman's wife had to look out the window at a large squirting phallus on the top of the bus and complained. The manager of the bar then told us that we needed to either load all of our equipment down by hand and not park the bus down here, or get that off the top of the bus. And our bass player at the time opted to go up there with a can of gasoline and rags and smeared it all off the top of the bus so we could have a more convenient load in. and not have to walk all the way down the hill like that soda pop delivery guy. Needless to say, we were somewhat of a rowdy bunch. That's like the tame stories. Anyways, there'll probably be more stories along here because I've spent so much of my young life in this area of 10,000 lakes. Next, we went looking for an old campground that we had had fun in the past.
So they don't have a campground over here anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it.
I think the road used to be down in there, then come up like over here somewhere.
Okay.
So yeah, no longer.
Well, Flyway?
Flyway.
All right. Yeah.
That I remember being bigger.
That's amazing to me. I think we could afford to buy this place. Spruce it up a little.
There was a little band room back there.
The death cabin?
Huh?
The death cabin?
Yeah.
Oh.
Then there was also a cabin right back here, right?
Yep.
There was a little room back here, right? That's where that door goes?
Yeah, and then you remember...
Because the stage was over here, then behind that was that little...
Yeah, we'd load in that door,
Yep.
and then this fence here, we didn't stay in that cabin. There was one more behind that we called the death cabin. It had no running water, no electricity, but those fence posts are still there, but they used
Right.
to have boards on them, but we would run out of firewood. So we would just go kick a board out of the
Do
fence.
you remember... Oh no, maybe were you there the night we got the DUI at Lynn Lake Campground south of DL? Oh shit. We were out of firewood that night and he had the Bronco down there, so we locked it in 4 low and
I
ran over
was
a couple
there.
picnic tables and chewed them up.
I was. Well, now this place here, it's called Boondocks now, but it wasn't at the time. This has a lot of history for me. This was really like the first bar where my band was being paid to play. And this is a little ways out of Detroit Lakes. At the time, it was called the Flyway. And it was a little gas station that never had any gas because the management couldn't afford to even buy it from the wholesaler. But they always had some beer for sale, and especially on the weekends. Little convenience store was in on this side, but we would pack this place on Friday and Saturday night, and our band would load in at this little white door over here on the right, now in the center. And the stage was in there. I'd love to get access to this place and go inside, but we'll see. But just countless concerts we played in this place. And really, you know, kind of honed our chops in there. And went from being a garage band that sucked to guys that actually could play. And it's places like this that, you know, just the music scene in America is built on places like this. And then so with the deal, since this was a resort at the time, but it was an absolutely run-down resort at the time. Like, not quite as run down as this, but not too different. We had these cabins. They'd give us a cabin. This one used to have a deck on it, and this fence used to have regular fence boards on it. But we would have campfires outside at night, and we would just kick boards out of these fences and kick boards out of that deck that's no longer there to make firewood. Amazing. And, you know, the owners really didn't care all that much because they were pretty inebriated and among other things. Sounds bad. Actually was some of the most fun times of my life. Yeah, this used to be the bait shop and convenience store, and
Yep.
Brad Floggan would be standing back there. I'd be making a microwave double charbroiled cheeseburger for breakfast, and someone would come in and say, the gas pump doesn't work, and Brad would have to explain to him that there is no gas. It's hard to see in there. God, it would be fun to go in.
Yeah.
We would hump those big JBL speakers in here.
Right.
And rock the shit out of this place. Led Zeppelin, Rush, Rolling Stones. I mean, the list goes on and on. We did everything.
And that's like a plumbing vent stack.
I seem to have lost Angela somewhere. I just checked my rearview mirror and he wasn't there anymore. God, I love this country. I used to do a lot of riding up here, and even when I wasn't riding, I spent a lot of time here. And here she comes.
That was spring last right there.
Oh, was
I just
it?
pulled through there. We should go back.
Oh, let's go back.
Over there's a little trail.
That's the Walker one from 87 or 80?
No, it would have been
88.
88, your guys's.
Yeah, RU Experience.
Is that what it was? Yeah.
Yeah.
Were you at that one with the hill and everything?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, literally right there.
Yeah,
Once
we're-
I saw the steam slide going to the right, like, oh, that's it. Let's turn around real quick.
Yeah, I want to see it.
Check that out.
When I tell you that I love you, baby, I really do. When I tell you that I love you, baby, I really do.
Wow.
Gotta be it.
I remember those now.
See where it goes down.
Oh, yeah. Who picked this spot?
I don't remember how they found it.
Yeah, we were camped all over this hill. So just for some background here,
Oh, the chalet's still there.
our high school, the senior class would always throw an end of year party that was like a 3 or 4 day kegger. And we're all underage, so we had to find a spot to camp and do this thing. Historically, there would have been resorts that allowed it, but by the time our class came around, class of 87, 88, 89, somewhere around there, we had to find other places. And
Look how steep that is. That's pretty darn steep.
I know, and we were running and rolling, and
Someone had that riding lawnmower here,
yeah.
and we were riding that down and getting bucked off it and stuff. And holy crap!
When I tell you that I need you, baby, I really do. Oh, when I tell you that I need you,
Okay, we stopped for lunch at this Zorba's. If you come to Minnesota, you have to eat at Zorba's. It is a uniquely Minnesotan experience, and it's kind of odd. It's Mexican and pizza. But they're both done quite well. And we're sitting here looking at the lake. They're always on lakes. And we're looking at that section of dock down there, thinking, as Brad said, there's a story there. So we're trying to figure out what that might have been, but obviously we missed some fun. But do come to Zorba's. You won't regret it. Like many northern cities, Duluth has a network of skyways that allow pedestrians to walk around downtown during the cold winter months while staying indoors. One of the iconic landmarks of Duluth is its lift bridge, which gives access to the harbor for large freighters.
Ride safe.
In Superior, my friend Miss Lansbury had to leave me and return to her family, so I was on my own after that.
first view of Lake Superior. It's fresh water, but connected to the ocean via the St. Lawrence, the Atlantic Ocean. So it is a world seaport, Duluth is, and some of the other ports. This is, you're looking at 10% of the world's fresh water, and one of the Great Lakes. This is the south side of the lake. Okay, today was a particularly good day. I got to ride with one of my dear friends most of the day, like almost all of it. Really all but about an hour and a half of it. Brad, who I referred to as Angela Lansbury, most of the day. And he's in my book, Brad, because he's part of my motorcycling history. And Brad had to take off after Duluth Superior and head south on the Wisconsin side of the border, and which is a good ride. He had a good ride home. But to rejoin his family, he could only join me for a day. He had work.
And then the other piece was I got to ride through northern Minnesota, which is one of my absolute favorite places on earth. Um, when you grow up in Fargo and you have free time, you don't tend to go west, you go east, to the lakes, to the Minnesota Northland, to everything you just saw, essentially, and a lot more that I just simply couldn't capture. Um, in Fargo, we speak Minnesotan. Um, I'm a little melancholy that I'm through it and that I'm not coming back to it, to be honest. I know I've got great things ahead of me. I know I've also got some kind of dingy, industrial, yucky stuff ahead of me, and I really would like to be crossing that Canadian border and going on the north side of some of these lakes rather than on the south side. But that border is still closed to me. I know it's reopening. It'll probably be open by the time you're watching this, but it's not open right now, even with a vaccine card. So, it is what it is. And I'll deal with my emotions and keep riding. But today was a great day, and I'm just so happy that it happened. So now I am on the south shore of Lake Superior in northern Wisconsin at a wonderful campground in the woods. This is the first night I've seen mosquitoes, so I got a fire going. Actually, I've got a smoke machine going. I have to tend to this. Of course, the smoke will help with the mosquitoes. And that's going to be it. It was a long day in the saddle because our speed was a little slower. But that was good. I could really soak it up then. And my guess is my speed will be slower now for quite a while because I'm less trying to eat miles and more trying to enjoy miles. Not that I didn't enjoy the trip up to this point, but there was big country to cover and I had to move pretty quick. So that's it. Thanks for watching. End of day, I don't even know what day it is. End of day 9. All right, take care.